Hello, everyone, and welcome back to that Tech Enthusiast podcast. I have just closed OBS and have no idea if I'm still recording. I think I am, though. That's good. I pressed the button because it was like in, it was in the system tray, and I clicked it, and then it just like disappeared. But yeah, hopefully that we were still recording during that. And this is actually the second time I've recorded this episode because the first one didn't work properly. I'll explain why it didn't work properly because it's a really stupid reason. Did I even do the intro properly in this one? Well, yeah, welcome back to that Tech Enthusiast podcast. I'm your host, TheAlienDoctor. Today we're going to be talking about the latest tech news as well as some updates to my gaming / recording content creation PC that I'm going to be building sometime after Christmas because that's probably when I'll have enough money to buy the parts and also have the parts. Also, some stuff will be, obviously, I'll probably get some stuff for Christmas as well, which I can put towards it, whether that's money or actual specific parts. But yeah, anyway, before we actually get into that, because this is a 1 hour, and this has been a 1 minute, and 15-second intro, we actually need to roll the music intro thing. Right, so I just want to start off by talking about my problems with OBS because I've been having lots of problems with OBS. If you don't know what OBS is, it's Open Broadcaster Software. That's what it stands for, and it's what most people will use to capture gameplay. I also use it to record the podcast because, yeah, and I've been having some problems with it. So it all started yesterday when I was trying to record Minecraft videos for my main channel. And the bitrate was really low because I'd messed around with some settings because I'd figured out how to get the audio, the game audio and my mic audio onto two separate audio tracks, so it would be a lot easier to edit. That means I had to turn on advanced settings on OBS, which meant that everything was a lot more advanced and confusing, and I ended up recording in a fairly low bitrate because... yeah, apparently that's what happens when you leave the advanced settings to default. So yeah, it was a low bitrate, but somehow it's still in 1080p and it just looks really pixelated. So yeah, that video is now late because I then tried to record like the outro and I messed around with the bitrate to try and get it to a better quality, and for some reason it was just a black screen. And I have no idea why. And so it's just a black screen in my editing software, which is obviously DaVinci Resolve, but that's a really big pain because, yeah, I now don't really know what to do and how to fix it other than to turn on simple mode, which means that I won't have the audio in those two separate audio tracks, which means if the game audio gets too loud, I can't turn it down because it's all in the same audio track, and it's really annoying, and I've had to not put out videos because of that. So yeah. And then I also... when I'm because often I have to make my microphone louder during editing, so I will do that, and that will also make the game audio louder, whereas if it's in two separate tracks, then I can just keep the game audio as it already is, although that isn't too much of a big problem. I then tried to record the podcast, this episode, and first of all, display capture wasn't working, but I can work around that since it is a podcast and it's designed to be listened to, not watched. But the other thing is because I've got my new mouse, the back button on Chrome for my mouse is also the same button as the stop and start recording. So I was pressing that and I kept stopping and starting the recording. So yeah, that's, OBS have kind of been annoying me recently. Me and OBS do not get on well. But, yeah, anyway, we're just going to start off. Oh, and speaking of things that aren't getting on well, my Instagram page, if you're watching the YouTube version, then there is an outdated, that is not my Instagram handle thing, username anymore. It's not @TheAlienDoc. My new Instagram is @TheAlienDoctor _ because, yeah, somebody's already taken the Alien Doctor. But right, let's actually get into the first thing that we're going to be talking about today, which is real quickly just an update on the parts I'm choosing for my gaming computer. slash content creation PC, because it is a lot. I would have gone for a much cheaper build if I was just using it for gaming, but because I'm using it for recording and hopefully editing and rendering and stuff like that, I went a bit higher above my budget. And yeah, although some stuff is obviously either some people will give me money for Christmas probably, or buy specific parts. So that's kind of how I'm doing it. And that's also the same with my birthday as well, which was in September. I got some money from that as well, which will obviously I'm going to contribute towards this PC. So we're just going to start with the first change, and that is the AMD Ryzen 5 3800X. So this is a 3.9 gigahertz clock speed, 8-core processor with a turbo clock of up to 4.5 gigahertz. It has 16 threads. Now, my original choice was the Ryzen 5 3600. However, that has 6 cores and 12 threads, I'm pretty sure. So I'm going for this one because of the more cores, and it also comes with the, I don't know if the fan is the same, but the only difference is it's RGB or not. I don't know. Some people are like, because I was asking my friends for advice, and one of them said that maybe I should wait for the new Zen 3 stuff to come out, the Ryzen 5000 series, and also the new AMD graphic cards and NVIDIA graphics cards, and maybe even Intel CPUs. However, I'm not really sure. That's another main thing they were telling me was to wait for. And my argument as to why I'm not doing that is, first of all, even if I did wait for it, it's not like I'd actually be able to get my hands on one. Here in the UK, where I live, we're not really near any shop that would sell PC parts. And as far as I'm aware, that's really the only way to get them these new components at a sensible price, is to go to a physical store where bots can't buy them out. So yeah, and that doesn't happen. I basically have to buy all this stuff online, and I'm gonna buy it online. Which is why I'm not getting the new stuff, basically, because I can't get the new stuff because it will be sold out instantly online. But yeah, there we go. Ryzen 5 3800X. I could get the XT, but the only real difference that I could see is that the boost clock was a little bit higher, and I don't even intend to be overclocking it too much anyway, or not really at all if I can help it. Right, next up, graphics card, because that's also had a major performance boost. Originally, I was going for the GTX 1650 Super. Well, I've now gone ahead for the GTX 1660 Ti. So yeah, a bit of a boost with regards to performance and stuff. However, I mean, why not? Might as well. So this is, it's got 6 gigabytes of memory, right? Well, yeah, it does. GDDR6 is the memory type, 1500 megahertz core clock, and yeah, PCI Express, 3 display ports. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it with the card. I could go for, yeah, I'm probably just going to go for this. I don't think that's going to change. If anything, it will change to a worse one, like maybe a GTX 1660 instead of the Ti variant. Oh, and I'm getting the MSI Gaming X version because honestly, I'm not actually really sure why. I mean, I was going to get the MSI sub vendor for the 1650 Super as well, so I might as well just get the MSI. I know my dad's got the EVGA EVGA. Is it EVGA? I can't remember what it is. Something like that for his RTX 2080 Super. Don't really know how that's related to anything other than the fact that, yeah, I'm going to go MSI for this, just like I'm going MSI for the motherboard, actually. So if we take a look at this, we can see that the motherboard is an MSI B450 Tomahawk Max. It's an ATX motherboard. I don't have to do any BIOS updates for the CPU. And even if I did, I wouldn't need a CPU installed in there. It supports up to 64 gigabytes of memory, and obviously DDR4 memory. apparently it's got 3 PCI times 1 slots. Oh, actually, it might then. Yeah, it's also got 6 SATA ports as well. Didn't realise that. And it supports RAID, a bunch of stuff. Yeah, it's a motherboard. Obviously, MSI did launch the MSI B550 Tomahawk. They've not got the Max version yet because the Zen 3 hasn't actually come out yet. But yeah, it's the reason I'm not going for the B550 is because the B450 is considerably cheaper, and my kind of tactic here is to just get the last generation parts because they'll be cheaper. Like, for example, the CPU is probably going to be a bit cheaper in the future because everyone will be getting Zen 3, or, well, people will be trying to and then won't be able to. So it also could go up. It kind of just depends what people do. This is available on my website. I do keep trying to update it as frequently as possible on my website. So, if you are interested in any of the changes, then go ahead there. It's tinyurl.com/TheAlienDoctor. Then RAM, just Corsair Vengeance, LPX 16GB. DDR4, it's 3600 speed because video editing and rendering and recording. Also, 16GB is a good number. However, we will probably upgrade to 32 in the future just because, yeah, why not? The power supply is also Corsair. It's Corsair RMX 2018 550 watt 80 plus gold certified fully modular ATX power supply, as named on PCPartPicker.com. And yeah, I mean, it's a Corsair power supply. That's really it, to be honest. I went Corsair because they are a well-known, for good reasons most of the time, brand, and also it's the cheapest it's ever been at £87. Yeah, it's a record low, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop being this unless it goes out of stock. So occasionally it will go out of stock. So I'll get it from Curry's PC World apparently, because it's the cheapest there. Although there was a time when it was out of stock, so we might have to buy it soon. One of the reviews literally say, didn't burn my house down, 0 issues, totally silent, doesn't get hot. That's good. The only thing is, apparently, with this review anyway, is that the cables kind of suck because they are a bit stiff according to the review above it. I mean, yeah, sure. It doesn't seem too bad. People have said if you're getting the 30 series NVIDIA graphics cards, then you're probably going to want to get a 650 or 750 watt power supply anyway. However, surely that'd be more expensive. Also, I don't know if this power supply would deliver enough power, but yeah, I mean, it's fully modular and whatnot. Seems okay. And yeah, the last thing is the case, and I'm still not sure about this case, but the thing is I haven't found another one like this one, which I really like. So it's got these fairly tall legs, I guess you'd call them. I can't remember if there's a proper name for that or not, to be honest. And I'm going to get the black version. Oh yeah, by the way, it's the Corsair 275, I guess, R ATX mid-tower case. It's black. It has no RGB fans or anything. I believe it comes with 2 fans, and the only thing, because I need a case with really good airflow. I want my stuff to be preferably silent, but I'm more interested in having good airflow and my components being cool, obviously, as silent as possible as well. I also don't want to go water cooling because I really can't be bothered for that stuff. And speaking of cooling, I will be using the included Wraith cooler that comes with the Ryzen 7 3800X CPU. So yeah, this is the case I'm probably gonna get. I mean, I will also have to get some more fans for this. That's probably, yeah. I haven't thought of that, but it has got 2 fans, and that's the only thing which I haven't thought about with regards to pricing. So yeah, I might have to do that at some point. And then you may be thinking, Alien, there's no boot drive here, and you're correct. There is no boot drive. There's no drive at all. That is because a while ago in my laptop, the SSD broke, so I put a new M.2 SATA SSD into it. It's 1TB, and I'm just going to take that out of my laptop and chuck it into this build and see what happens. I've also got a 1 terabyte hard drive in my laptop, which I'll also take out and put in this build. As well as that, I've got another 1 terabyte hard drive from another laptop, which I'll put in this. My only potential issue with this is they're both 2.5-inch hard drives, so they should just be able to go in the 2.5-inch SSD bays, I think. But I don't know. If that's not a thing you can do, I'll be annoyed. But anyway, in the future, I will also be buying probably an 8 terabyte, just a really large capacity hard drive at fairly fast speeds, so that I can hopefully edit off it, but more importantly, store all of my clips for videos and podcast episodes and stuff like that. So yeah, that's really it. This did go on for longer than I would have liked with regards to talking about it, but yeah, that's just what happens sometimes. Anyway, let's actually move on to the tech news. So we are going to close all of... No, we do not want Tech Radar to show notifications. Close that advert. Thank you, goodbye. So we're going to start talking about the leaked Apple ARM CPU benchmark beating the Intel Core i9 16-inch MacBook Pro. We're also not going to be talking too much about the new stuff that's launched from Intel, Nvidia, or AMD, because you've probably heard that everywhere, and I did record another video talking about just giving you the specs, but it was so long reading out all the specs, I didn't really have a chance to give my opinion. I didn't really enjoy it. So if something does pop up in the show, then I will talk about my opinion on it, but I'm not really going to do as much as reading out the specs, if that makes sense. So anyway, according to this article from TheAlienDoctor, a newly leaked benchmark shows Apple's ARM-based A14X Bionic processors outperforming a Intel i9 powered MacBook Pro by a pretty large margin, apparently. The chip is expected to debut on November the 10th during Apple's One More Thing event. That would make sense. It scored in Geekbench 5, which is a benchmarking software. It scored as 1,634 and 220 in multi-core performance in those benchmarks. It was also slightly ahead of the iPad Air, powered by the A14 Bionic, which scored blah blah blah. Meanwhile, the big coup for A14X Bionic was how it outperformed the 16-inch MacBook Pro, which was powered by an Intel Core i9 CPU. Interesting. So, yeah, basically, this ARM processor is beating an Intel Core i9 in a 16-inch MacBook Pro. That's interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much it on the article. We don't actually have that much information about the actual CPU other than what it's performed in these leaks. Obviously, we have got to remember these are leaks. We can't actually guarantee this is going to happen. However, generally leaks tend to be not completely correct, but somewhat correct, unless it's a company that's sort of purposely leaking something, which does happen because they want to get people hyped up for their product. Yeah, I imagine it's actually a fairly effective business strategy, to be honest. Right, so yeah, ARM is the future. I'm pretty sure it's in... Well, I know that ARM processors are in the Raspberry Pi. I'm assuming most of them. But yeah, in case you're wondering what an ARM processor is, it's a microprocessor technology, and it's just basically really small CPUs, which generally are for phones. Therefore, I believe there's also GPUs. I'm not sure if that's in the processor or as a separate thing. But yeah, they're in phones, then the Raspberry Pi. Yeah. And it's amazing how powerful they're actually getting. I really, really want the Raspberry Pi to get Windows 10 support. Like, I would be really happy if that happened, to be honest. I wonder if you could try plugging in a Windows 10, Windows 7 boot drive and just installing Windows on that. Do you think it would work just for Windows 7? The reason I'm saying Windows 7 is because it's slightly older and it would perform better than Windows 10, but it'd be cool as well if Windows made a version of Windows 10 that would just be less power hungry, I guess. That'd be cool if they did that. Right, okay, the next article is the AMD Big Navi stock problems. This is by tomsguide.com, an article by tomsguide.com, and we're just going to go to the UK version. There we go. So, AMD having big Navi stock problems. Asus says you'll have to be fast. Hardly surprising, let's be honest. I don't even know why I'm reporting this, but oh well, I am. So yeah, Asus rep hints that big Navi cards may be in short supply. So even if they had many cards, I reckon they would still get bought out pretty quickly. So if they're not going to be able to have as many cards available as, say, the RTX 3080, then that is probably going to be a problem because, yeah, these cards are pretty. They seem to be pretty good. But the thing is like AMD has hyped us up before for things, so we also need to be aware of that, and that AMD might not. These cards might not be as good as they were saying. I'm pretty sure there was something to do with the benchmark they showed to do with average frame rate or something. No, I'm not really sure if it is, but basically there is something to do with the. Something to do with the benchmarks that AMD showed us on these new cards that don't necessarily mean it is as good as we all think, although that might have been the CPUs, to be honest. But anyway, the Asus representative said it will be quite limited. I think that it will sell out quickly, and that was via Google Translate because I'm guessing the Asus representative didn't speak English. As with all graphics card now, expect everything will be gone in a few minutes, so you'll need to hang on the lock. Yeah, well, honestly, I don't even know if it's worth trying, to be completely honest. Because like, there's nothing wrong with last gen parts, unless you need a really specific feature in. Oh, the phone's ringing. Unless you need a really specific feature on one of these cards or CPUs, you might as well just get the last gen, because generally it's cheaper. Obviously, in this situation, maybe not. But yeah, I mean, it's also supplying components for both the Xbox Series and the PS5. So AMD is doing quite a lot right now, and it'll be interesting to see if they can keep up with demand. Yeah. Yeah, so they say right at the bottom of this article, either way, if you're keen to get AMD's new GPU in your game PC, we wouldn't recommend hanging around. That means getting up bright and early on November the 18th if you fancy a Radeon RX 6800, which is $579, or an RX 6800, XT, which is $650, or on December the 8th, you can get a $999 Radeon RX 6900 XT. So basically an £1,000 GPU, more expensive than the entire computer I'm going to be building, but that's fine. So yeah, there's that. As I was saying earlier, I really wouldn't recommend trying to get these cards at this point, unless you have a really specific use case where you're really going to benefit from getting this card instead of the previous gen Nvidia or AMD cards, and that's the same for CPUs as well. I really think that you should probably wait a bit, or if you don't want to get the last gen and you do really want to get this, then probably waiting and then for a little bit for them to, sort of level out and stop getting bought out instantly every time they're in stock. Wait out for a bit until AMD have got a lot of stock, and oh, sorry, something. I just saw something on Tech Radar that like really confused me for a second. um, what was I saying? Oh, this is the problem. I get distracted really easily. But yeah, uh, wait until there is a lot in stock, until people start to stop buying these, because people can't, like, bots can't instantly buy them forever, can they? Because otherwise they'll just run out of money. Unless they're stealing them, which hopefully they're not. Right, so anywho, I'm gonna, just because of what I was talking about, we're actually gonna read this article on techradar.com because it fits in nicely with what I was talking about. So the title is Where to Buy an AMD Ryzen 9 5900X and 5950X. I guess you'd say it like that. Fine stock here. By the way, I did watch the AMD Ryzen launch event. I've not watched the Radeon one, and I probably won't. But yeah, I was there in the live chat for the Ryzen launch event. And yeah, that was alright. Right, so the Ryzen 9 5900X and 5950X, along with the rest of AMD's 5000 series CPUs, went on sale November the 5th. It's obviously November the 8th today. And yeah, it's not too surprising that AMD's been knocked into the park with CPUs recently, and with the AMD Ryzen 9, blah blah blah, set flagship project, hype is at an all-time high. To make it as easy as possible, we have listed places where you should be able to buy the new Ryzen 9. Okay, so if you are really interested in getting the Ryzen 9, then let's see. Where does it say? So these are all online ones by the looks of it. And apparently the best places to get them is B&H, which I've never heard of before. Best Buy, Amazon, and Newegg. I'd probably get mine from Amazon, but I'm not getting one, so I don't need to. Just out of interest, see, the one I'm most interested in is the Ryzen 7 5800X and 5700X, because I'm pretty sure they're both a thing, right? Because I'm going to get the 3800X, but if the 5800X is in stock and it's for a similar price, then I'm totally grabbing it, But yeah, I don't think it's going to be, which is a shame, but I mean, I'll live. Although, wait, does it even come with a cooler? This box includes processor and installation. Thermal solution sold separately. Oh yeah, okay, never mind. I don't. One of the main reasons I'm going AMD is because they come. A lot of the CPUs come with fans and like the Wraith cooler, but apparently the Ryzen 7 5800X doesn't. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to be getting this one because I don't want to have to spend extra money on a fan or a CPU cooler or whatever. Because yeah, I'm cheap like that. I mean, I already don't want to have to buy extra case fans, but I know I'm going to have to get at least 2. But yeah. Anyway, how long have we been going for? 27 minutes. Cool. Just saying, this isn't guaranteed, but at some point I'm thinking, don't tell anyone, shh, I'm thinking of doing a live podcast episode. So comment down below if you're on YouTube, if you'd actually be interested in watching one of these live. Because yeah, I've been doing a bit of live streaming on my main channel, and it could be interesting to do a stream here, maybe. So if you are interested, obviously it wouldn't be live on podcast platforms, but it would be live on YouTube if you're interested. So yeah, maybe let me know if you are interested, and we could actually do one of these if enough people are interested. I probably will try it once anyway. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, anyway, that's all we're going to talk about for now. Sorry that these upload schedule has kind of been a little bit topsy-turvy recently. I have an English literature exam this week, So, I got to revise for it. On top of that, I've also got all the normal homework and stuff like that. So, I have got a lot of stuff going on in my life, as well as some other personal stuff, which I won't talk about on here. And yeah, but that's really it from me. I'm the Alien Doctor. You can see my socials are on screen right now, minus Instagram, because that social's wrong. But the YouTube and Twitter is right. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in the next episode soon. Bye.